everyone!
Hi there! Hey Tina, what are we doing today?
What would you consider a masterpiece?
Like The Last Supper? Or the Mona Lisa?
Is that all?
No. How about It Was the Best of Times, It Was the Worst of Times? A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens.
Or To Be or Not to Be, that is the question. Hamlet by William Shakespeare.
What about this?
That's Beethoven. Love him.
And what about this one? It's a famous place in India.
Oh, that's the Taj Mahal. One more. This time food, I think. What about croissants? Where do they come from?
That's easy. Allons enfants de la patrie, la joie de gloire est arrivée en France.
Actually, yes and no.
Oh.
It's based on an Austrian pastry brought to Paris in 1839 by Auguste Zang, an Austrian artillery officer.
Oh, c'est incroyable. But why are we talking about all of these things and making me hungry, I might add?
Well, in Ephesians 2:10, Paul says, "For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so we can do the good things he planned for us long ago."
I see why we were talking about masterpieces then.
Yeah. Yes. When God creates a masterpiece, he considers much more than just how his works of art look. His masterpieces, you and me, are created to fulfill an exciting destiny chosen for us by him.
I sometimes feel like life is like a puzzle. Before it's all put together, the pieces are all scattered so that we don't know what the picture is. While we have the picture on the box, we are completely certain of what the puzzle will look like until it's completed. But we can be certain that God knows because he made us.
I have a really great missionary story for this one.
Oh, well, let's have it then.
Amy desperately wanted blue eyes. Every time she looked in the mirror and saw her brown eyes staring back at her, she asked God to make them blue. Everyone else in her family had blue eyes, and Amy could not imagine how God had slipped up and given her brown ones. As Amy grew up, her eyes remained the same shade of brown, no matter how hard she bargained with God to turn them blue. Her desire to have brown eyes was eventually replaced by a greater desire, telling people about Jesus. One morning in church, Amy learned about people in India who needed God's love, and God filled her with a great desire to share his love with them. So while she was still a young woman, Amy traveled thousands of miles from her family in England to live among the women of India. The women of India cover their mouth and nose when they are in public. Amy wanted to honor those customs, so she also wore a scarf across her mouth and nose. After she had put the scarf in place, she looked in the mirror. What she saw took her breath away. A brown-eyed, Indian-looking woman stared back at her. Her brown eyes made her just like the women she was trying to share Jesus with. If she had had blue eyes, she would not have fit in, and the women would not have listened to what she had to say. Amy was thankful for her brown eyes from that day on. God knew long before Amy Carmichael was born that he was going to send her to India. He knew that brown eyes would be better than blue eyes in India. She was perfectly created for God's perfect plan.
That's a perfect illustration. If Amy's eyes had been blue, she would never have been able to do all that she did in India for the Lord.
She started a ministry that is still going today to save girls from being sold by their families. She made an impact in India because she was exactly who God created her to be.
We are God's masterpiece. Even adults need to be reminded that God has made them special for the good things that he has planned for them to do.
I might even write that on a note and put it where I can see it every day to remind me, especially on those days when I get discouraged.
And I think that's a great idea. Thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you the next time.
Oh, stop it.